Streaming? Oh wait, no, it does. That was a bug. That was a bug. Thank God, dude. I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's like, I've seen, like, Moist Critical fucking stream this.
I don't. That must have been like an error message or something. Like, what the fuck?
It must have thought, like, the campaign. It must have thought it was the campaign.
Oh.
Because I think the campaign, you're not able to stream it because of spoilers and shit.
Which one are you?
I am the full gray one because I have not been able to. I've not played this too much.
You should have access to the green Master Chief camo that I have.
Oh, I don't know. And hopefully things go right with this girl, man, because she's fucking awesome. We were able to kind of like easily talk to each other, and
How'd you meet this one?
so I met her on Facebook dating. And
So does that work?
honestly, that's been the way I've been able to talk to girls. The thing is, however, I would say my coworker has not had any luck with it. He says he gets a lot of fat girls on there. I've had really good.
Hey,
luck with it.
fat girls need love too, but they gotta pay.
And that's the thing. Is like me and my oldest brother, we're pretty lucky on there. My coworker and I don't know if Sam's tried it out, but Sam was pretty hesitant about it. But yeah, it's just I would try it out. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. You're not gonna you can separate that dating size portion from your actual profile, so it's not like they can just see your actual Facebook profile, you know.
Oh.
So it's like a whole. Think of it as like a whole separate app that only kind of connects to your Facebook, like Tinder does, or like yeah.
Getting her flag back.
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I met her through there. And yeah, she was just on there for a little bit, and then deleted her profile on there.
Oh! I got gangbanged in a corner.
No, she's a pretty good. She's a pretty cool girl, man.
Nice.
Power items available.
Don't know what's gonna happen. But anyways, other than that, that's really all that's been going on. I don't know if I told you what ended up happening whenever I went to fucking the tailgating. Did I tell you about that?
No, you did not.
Okay, so there is this whole other fucking slew of shit. So this was probably the most terrifying experience I've ever fucking had, ever. That, you know, I told you about that edible that I ate, and then I was hearing like the voices of the fucking dead or whatever just clawing at my.
Ryan told me you did have another bad drug incident.
Yeah, this one was even. I think about it, and it gives me like. I'm still terrified when I think about it. That one shook me up even more. Because I was going tailgating, right, to
What the fuck?
the Kansas City Chiefs game. That was Chiefs versus the Cowboys. My sister had tickets. I did not. But my sister, she has really bad anxiety, and I was gonna go there to support her, right? So in case something happened, I would be there. And long story short, I fucking failed at that, and yeah. That's a whole nother fucking thing. So I went tailgating. I went tailgating with her and her current. Well, I don't know if they're still dating or not, but her and her boyfriend.
Why don't you think they're dating anymore?
Because of what ended up happening.
You can do it.
It was a crazy fucking night, dude. Anyways.
Hey, Luis, be my gunner.
Oh, I got you.
I hope this thing's in good shape.
Vámonos. Anyways, we went tailgating, and I drank a little bit. And the thing is, like, I was like, okay, so I drank, and it was very early. So I just like, okay, so I'm gonna go, so I have enough time to recover from all this stuff, so, all the alcohol, and I can still.
Get him, Luis, he's almost dead.
Got him. So I can still, oh, there's one behind me.
Okay, but continue.
I'm sorry, I was getting into It's just gunfight. Oh, fuck! I'm running. Oh, motherfucker! He was right in front of me. Anyways, so I got drunk. One side of the stadium was one tailgate. That was my sister's boyfriend, and the other side was my cousin's tailgate. And my cousin. So I went from my sister's boyfriend to my cousin's. Walked across the entire stadium. It was a long fucking trek. Met up with him, drank there a little bit, and then he gave me a candy. And like to me, I just grabbed it and started eating it. Like I was pretty drunk, you know. And then I was like, why does it taste? Why is it chalky? And I looked down, it was an edible. I was like, oh fuck. And immediately I was fucking terrified.
Why didn't he tell you?
Well, he did ask me if I smoked, and I was like, yeah, I do smoke, but not as much as I used to. He's like, oh, it's fine. We have some shit, and we'll bring it by here in a bit. And I thought he was like, when he said smoke, I thought he was like, okay, smoke, you know. And I was like, I could just take one puff and just go and it'd be okay, you know. Like smoking doesn't even last that long. Smoking lasts like 45 minutes to an hour for me. So I was like, okay, so it's not gonna be that bad. I can wait it out, you know. But I didn't assume he was gonna bring an edible. So he brought an edible, and I ate it, and it was hitting, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go home. Like, and the thing is, like, it was major derealization. Like, I was having like trouble. Like, it was like whenever I was describing here at home, you know, with all the terrifyingness. But now added on with being around an entirely different environment. Like here at home, I could just go lay down on my bed, and I mean, I could still be terrified in my bed, but I can control the influences on me, right? Here at home, it was constant influences that I couldn't control. And it was in a state of mind that was just as bad or worse. And yeah, it was rough, man. I ended up walking back, asked my sister's boyfriend to take me home. He was drunk to no end, so he couldn't take me home. And I was like, okay, so I'll just go back, and I have to go back and ask my cousin. Like, I didn't want to ask him, but I went and asked him. So I had to track back and forth multiple times out of ungodly high amongst crowds of people, and my mind went fucking dark, dude. Like, there were some dark places that I went to. Yeah, it was. Eventually, I went and I laid down inside like my sister's boyfriend's truck, and I just laid there, and I just sat there and tried to recover, and I had like a kind of weird experience there, where my brain was like, felt like it was back into like a newborn brain or something like that. It was like this fucking weird feeling. Like I was just seeing visions, like as if like psychedelic type visions that were just like very kind of like I've seen them before, you know. And immediately I'm
upset that I'm at the top of our team because I am sucking hard dick right now.
I'm just focusing on the authority, but yeah, that's basically what happened. What ended up happening afterwards was my sister had a panic attack, partly because of me. And then her boyfriend wasn't there. He kept going with his friends and didn't want to take care of it. She ended up trying to walk home, but when she tried to walk home, the game was over, and I was sober, but I was by that time we were kind of trapped in, you know, so I couldn't get to her because she ended up trying to walk home because her anxiety was hitting her big time, and we had to go find her, and that was rough. It was emotionally draining. Whenever we went back to the house, I gave her like a big old hug, and I felt bad because
I'd imagine. Shit, dude, that situation sounds like it sucked.
Yeah, yeah, she But to be fair, I would say like most of the events that happened, like with her walking home and all of that, like
Yeah.
I only knew about that after like I called her and like I was sober, but the actual thing that started that, like the actual thing that started her anxiety was that she was worried about me, and you know, and I was like, fuck, that was that I felt bad because yeah, that was not fun, dude, and that's
I bet not. Hey, can you just do regular Slayer?
no, you can't choose individual.
Oh, you can't choose individual?
I don't think so.
I thought that there was quick play and then another one where you could choose.
I mean, it's custom game. You can play custom game of it, but
Never mind. Let me go get something to drink real quick, and then I'll tell you my story, because my story's fucked, too.
yeah.
All right, I'm back. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I go and I get. Oh, wait, what's the funny?
Sorry. I just saw some stupid fucking post.
Oh.
Okay, go on. Sorry. What's up?
Okay. So I go and basically I go in to do two things. I send my information with all my transcript and all that shit to one school because they have an opening in their history department, specifically because one of their teachers got caught diddling their kids.
Ooh.
So that's happened.
fucked.
But for some reason, the school is yet to contact me, and they're about to hit a deadline to where like they're gonna need to hire a teacher, but I think they just want to save the budget and dissolve the class. Which basically what that is basically Oklahoma's like, oh, we couldn't find another teacher, have to get rid of the class, saves us money in the budget. They're really bad about doing that shit, even though they definitely have the teachers, they just lie. Which is, they're basically creating their own teaching shortage.
Yeah, and then on top of that, all that budgeting probably goes to the administration, the people at the top. Yep.
So
I can see it.
So I've kind of been screwed out of that one. That one kind of pisses me off because like they're like, oh, we need someone. I sent stuff in. I still haven't heard. And like they need someone by the end of this month, and I still haven't even got a phone call or a background check ready to be run. So like, I think they're dissolving it. So I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. So I go, oh, okay. What I'll do instead is I'll also apply to this other school. So I apply to this other school. I get an interview. I go in for the interview, and that's like in between the time I'm spending with Ryan. So I'm all like, oh shit. So I have Ryan drop me off. And, you know, sure shit he does. And as I'm walking in, I sit down and get greeted by one of the ladies. She's not even dressed professionally. She's dressed in what I like to call and paint. She's covered in paint.
Paint?
Yep.
Okay.
What? I fucking... That doesn't make any sense.
I'm guessing she's an art teacher.
No. She renovated houses, and instead of like dressing professional for a meeting, she said, fuck it. Then the principal decided not to show up either and just sent a substitute. The substitute that he sent for himself was this old-ass racist bitch. And how do I know she's racist? You're going to love this. So I'm like, well, fuck. That's stupid. She basically was offended that I said I took culture studies, so I would be probably better off than most teachers at understanding kids from multiple cultures, especially with me being a mixed kid. And she was like this old white bitch, and she took offense to it, which it's fine, whatever. But it pisses me off that like this lady who really shouldn't have any like power in any of that was sent in place of the principal, which probably screwed me out of the position. This is after waiting 4 weeks for 2 positions that they lied to me about, said they filled. They did not fill. They dissolved both positions, then told me the truth when I was in my meeting. So
Yeah,
how do you think that made me feel? I felt like absolute dog shit. So I'm like, I basically like hop on him during the meeting. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm basically fixing to also apply. I'm applying to another place. I feel like it would be rude and improper of me not to inform you of anything that would pertain to you. Basically, kind of taking a jab at them during the meeting. But you know, still civil. And as I was going in to do this meeting, and after talking to this girl, they're like, "Oh man, look at that fucking scraggly looking guy. What a fucking ugly piece of shit." And they're like talking shit on Ryan. And I go, they're like, "That better not be our interviewer, or we won't even hire him on the spot." And I was like, that's kind of rude. And they like 3 of the ladies jumped. One of them had already known I was there, and she couldn't get them to stop saying shit before they said it. Which that made it extra funny.
Yeah. And that thing is like, it's kind of a... It's kind of fucked up. God, fuck that guy. Okay. That was kind of fucked. But sometimes you have to... There's a lot that you have to bite your fucking tongue, man. Like,
Oh yeah,
but I don't want to do it.
Oh no, and trust me, I was civil the whole time, but I'm like, that's my friend. That's all I said.
Yeah. Which fair
But
enough.
that's I did
understandable.
fuck up twice, and this is where I fucked up twice. After that, I was pissed off. So we go into the meeting. They're like, "Hey, why do you want this position? Honestly, like, what are you searching for?" I said, "Well, I honestly don't want this position." And they look at me and they go, "Why not?" And I said, "Well, because I was promised 2 positions, which I never got. And this was all you had. And basically, I've been told that if I take this position, that eventually another position could open up, and I could have a shot." What the fuck?
But that's the thing. It's like also you might have to start at a very low experience position.
Oh
Like,
no,
so
that's not
you
a
might-
that's not a thing, Luis. Like there is no low experience position. They're all universal. That's what it is.
But
It's
but
like
you might-
I'll have to start in a subject I'm not acquainted to. That's fine. The problem is they stuffed me for it twice, and after they stuffed me, instead of calling and telling me, "Hey, we gave that position away," or they dissolved it, they didn't tell me, and I had to go in person just for them to lie to my face, not once but twice, over 2 positions.
Fair enough. That is fucked, right? That right there is fucked.
Yeah,
And I
yes.
do agree. I was thinking like you were kind of upset about that they offered you a different position that you didn't want.
No, I was
this
fully,
time
I was
you're gonna-
fully okay with taking the positions. It's just like getting my foot in the door, you know. And it's like you said,
Yeah.
you'll have to take something else. That's fine. It's not lower level. It's just not the subject.
No.
I
I didn't mean a lower level, but I mean it's like you just anything to get experience, basically.
Pretty much.
I worked at a fucking repair shop that paid $10 a fucking hour. Oh fuck you! Stop, I'm dead. Okay, I'm dead. I worked at a fucking repair shop that paid $10 an hour just so I can get into the fucking
the
IT
fuck?
field, you know.
yeah,
So it's like
getting cucked on.
it's like
lately.
sometimes you'll have to take a
Yeah,
job that you do
and
not
I'm fully
want,
prepared
but-
for it. They're super desperate. They have literal registered sex offenders as fucking literal teachers who are emergency certified. Like, I don't know why I'm getting such a hard end of the stick, and I kind of feel like it's racial, and the reason I do is because, well... Oh, and there's another thing that's also fucked of why I probably won't get a position, which...
We'd rather hire pedophiles than
Than
a
hire
brown
you.
person.
Yeah, and that's not even a joke. Their superintendent, who got replaced by the current one, was a part of a massive child sex trafficking or a massive child pornography ring.
Jesus Christ.
So was the guy who was in charge of their bus barn. So you would expect them to be like, "Hey, we got this new guy. Oh, he's got 2 history degrees and a minor in education and a psychology degree. So no offense, I'm already more qualified than most teachers."
Yeah.
Which the psychology degree. So it shouldn't be this hard, you know. And So I'm like, oh shit. So we go in there talking. They're like, well, what could you bring to the table? Would you be offering to help with this club, this club, this club? I said, I'd love to help with art club. I'd love to help with your fucking electronic sports league. Like, there's a lot of shit I can volunteer for. I even was like, yeah, I could help with FFA too. I used to teach FFA. I can help with public speaking, all that stuff. I'm like, I could be an involuntary, like, or a voluntary, like, assistant counselor because of my psychology degree. So, like, I've already got, like, 5 extra things I can do on top of other people just coming in, because a lot of people don't even want to do the extra shit.
Yeah, and you're willing to do it.
And I'm willing to. I volunteer, and I'm qualified in that extra shit, which is another step up. So, this one, the lady who swapped out the principal is, like, where I'm butting heads. She goes, I tell her, I'm like, hey, I would be able to deal with bullying and kids with issues. They're like, how could you handle that mentally? I'm like, I have a psychology degree. If I can deal with psychopaths, kids aren't a problem. And that was basically kind of the statement I gave him, showed him my qualifications, and I was like, dude, I had to, like, you know, do specific tasks to get my psychology degree.
I think they were probably looking at more experience, you know, like...
and I've been a substitute for 2 years.
Fair enough.
So they can't get me on the experience one either.
Yeah, well, I think they were probably like asking, like, how would you be able to handle bullying? What experiences have you had?
And I'd be like, I could easily diffuse a situation going this route. How would you be able to handle a kid in your classroom? I said I would first issue a warning, not even directed at the kid, as not to escalate the situation. And then the second time, be like, hey, I need you to stop. Third time, I'm going to be like, this is your final warning. And fourth time, sent to the office. I said, no hard escalation. The issue will be taken care of. And I said, and I think a lot of teachers kind of struggle with, like, actually listening and like respecting students at a degree of equal human interaction, because they're adults, and sometimes it's hard to differentiate yourself as an adult to kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like,
and then I was like,
kids, they'll try to push. They'll try to push you, right?
Yeah.
To see what lines they can cross, what lines they can't, right? That's the whole point of
Incoming.
like, with a lot of, there's gonna be some kids that are gonna try to, like, butter you up and shit like that, and then so that way they can try to get away with more, you know. And then there's like in terms of, I'm thinking more in terms of teenage adolescents, you know, that are much more strategic in that. Kids are a lot more tyrannical, more kind of like impulsive, and but like if you're going to you're trying to teach kids, or you're trying to teach adolescents. Which one? Are you trying to teach kids or adolescents?
It's high school kids.
High school kids, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna be more.
So that was it, and then I was like, I can understand and diffuse situations of, like, you know, like if a kid is involved with, like, a child abuse, they've got mental issues, stuff like that. I would be the first one who would probably be able to identify that, and I wouldn't be, like, super confrontive about it. I would let the kid come to me, but I would at least be aware of the situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can kind of accommodate things.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of, like,
and I was like,
learn them.
And I said, and I can relate this to, like, the bullying stuff, all that, and then they're like, we don't have a bullying culture here, and I was like, it's a school.
Bullshit.
And I'm like, yeah, so I called bullshit, and then this is where I fucked up, because it was the lady who was being a cunt about Ryan, the headhunter. I said, if there isn't bullying at this school, what were you doing when I entered the doorway?
Wow. Fair enough.
And that's what I hit her with. I honestly did. I was like, I wasn't like an asshole about it, but I was like,
no, but you
you're
pointed it
what?
out, yeah, because there's a let's say as well as, like, if they admit that there's a bullying problem, or if they admit that bullying even goes on, that means they admit to the fact that either it's not being handled, or that it's just they don't know how to handle it, right? There'd be another thing to say. Well, of course, every school's gonna have a certain amount of bullying, right? There's not that you can ever get rid of that. When we handle it like this, it'd be a different story, right? Because they at least have a plan, have something in action. But if they don't want to admit that they have a bullying problem. That just shows
and they
that
don't want to admit that,
know
like,
how to
kids
handle
have drug issues too, because we're on a major a major highway, so there's like drug trafficking, all this shit. Like Guyman's a bad place to have your kids, and they try to hide it, but it's like, no, you need to accept that and then build from there. You can't just pull all that
you first have to
bullshit.
recognize the issues before you fix it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's basically kind of the approach I was taking it. Oh shit. But basically, I got killed in the fucking stairwell. So that's what happened. So then I'm like, they're like, well, how would you be able to handle the kids better in other scenarios? I said, well, I am a mixed kid, so I don't have like any like I can like basically associate with like kids who come from mixed families and other cultures, probably a little better than most. And I was like, I also took culture studies, and this fucking lady loses it. She's like, you don't need to take fucking culture studies. Why would you need to take that? And I was like, Guyman is actually one of the most diverse locations in the world, like school-wise, because like there's over like I want to say like 170 languages. Or, or it's like 70 to 170. I can't remember. I'm off. But it's a bunch. Yeah, Guyman's, because we took in all the refugees during the Obama and up through the Biden era.
Yeah, but that many?
Oh, dude, it's a lot.
Okay, I didn't expect it to be that many.
Yeah, Guyman's crazy, dude. So I was like, you know, so I'm probably more qualified to handle kids from different backgrounds. And this lady just loses it. Like, that doesn't fucking matter. And I'm like, you're one of the most diverse schools. Like, how is that a thing that doesn't matter? Or how is that a thing you don't have? Like, why are you telling me this? And I was pissed off because she, one, wasn't the principal. Two, she wasn't even qualified to do any of this. She was literally a fucking placeholder. And she, like, took over the fucking meeting. So that pissed me off.
What? Fuck.
So that pissed me off. So we go through the meeting and then it ends. And they're like, we'll call you next week. Well, today's fucking Wednesday. I still haven't gotten a phone call. Like, and I said, you're going to make sure to call me, right? And they're like, yes. And I said, well, I just want to make sure because the last 2 times I was promised a position or did this or that, and you guys told me you were going to call me, I had to come in person. And that's not being rude. I wasn't aggressive about it.
No, you're just telling me.
But I was like,
what's going on.
I'm basically like, you need to tell me because it's your job, and it's part of protocol. So if you're going to break protocol and do that, like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So yeah, so basically that's how it went, and. Like, I wasn't aggressive, I wasn't a piece of shit, but, like, I feel like since I was literally, like, talking... By the way, there was no diversity in that room besides me. Every one of them was a fucking white Karen. And they were, like, in their 40s, too. And every one of them was a fucking woman. There wasn't another man in there.
Yeah.
And that kind of pisses me off. Because, like, they're denying diversity when they're literally, like, contributing to a lack of diversity. They're literally the staple poster child of we don't have diversity. So like that's fucking stupid. And then they're trying to preach to me that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And this is where again I would kind of come in and kind of I got it. Yeah, we gotta kill it. Okay.
Luis, where are you at?
This is
You
where
need to get the ball.
Oops.
You started going for kills. I saw that.
Yeah. Actually, this entire time I was going for kills until the last 2 minutes on the last round.
My skull. Protect me, boys.
I got you. But this is where I kind of will interject, where it's just like to me, it's like I don't care about diversity. I just want results, right? So.
No, I agree with that. It's more along the lines of
results
like,
come first.
When you're denying diversity and you're literally the picture child of a lack of diversity, it's a little counterproductive.
Well, if you're actively trying to deny diversity,
and that's what she was doing,
right?
And that's what she was doing.
And that's the thing it's.
Active camo inbound.
I do not. No, because again, I'm not in that situation, right? So I do not know for certain if that's what she was doing. I can only just trust what you say. And if you get a read from that, I mean, yeah, it's very likely that played a role, right?
Well, fuck. I wouldn't
But
doubt it, especially after the
I was-
fucking way they were talking shit on Ryan.
And but the thing is, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, be careful of cognitive bias, right? Where, like, I'm not saying that's definitely what's going on, but it's just like,
Yeah, and I'm aware
careful
of,
of that.
of cognitive bias. It was just like she actively denied like that I would have any reason to have multicultural studies. Like that's not a
okay,
thing
yeah.
you need. That's what she did. That's why I was like, wow.
well, you do need that because, again, if you're gonna talk about people's backgrounds, how do you know their culture? How do you know what kind of environment they were tend to grow up in? Especially if you're gonna have to handle kids and to know what kind of environment they grew up in, it's very helpful. Like it's not controversial. That shouldn't be controversial, right?
And
So-
that's what I was saying. I was
Yeah,
like,
like,
that's
having
why
that-
I was just shocked. I was like speechless when she said that shit to me. I was like, what?
Oh, you're a teacher, really? Like
You're an academic and you're like,
We have the ball. Ball dropped.
see, here's the
academic
worst part. I don't.
understand.
Here's the worst part is like I don't even know that she was a teacher. She might have just been a fucking secretary from the principal's office. Which is what was pissing me off, that she was taking so much charge of it. But as far as I knew, the other two were more qualified than her. So why did she have more of a voice than them during the interview?
So a lot of it could be a favoritism culture going on, right? So
Ball dropped.
this is one thing I noticed working at a nonprofit. There's a bunch of favoritism because I would say this. There's a little bit of similarity, right? A tiny bit of similarity where I work and in schools in general, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a foster care organization. They have education systems. They have all of that, and like therapy and stuff like that. But one thing I noticed is that stuff that like nonprofit, and my brother working as a paramedic, you know, he noticed like there's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of favoritism,
Nepotism.
and a lot, yeah, and there's a lot of that goes on there. So somebody that could be even a lower, I would say rank, lower authority on the actual like organization chart, could actually have more power than somebody like the director, because of the favoritism around the entire team around them, like, and like the more respect that they have.
And I think
this is one
that
thing-
was probably what it was, because she took fucking charge when she walked in. But I knew she wasn't a principal or a superintendent.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing, is like it probably was that. That's probably what's going on. So, in my department, specifically in the IT department, I can give you an example. There's this guy that he's the project manager of the IT, and he's the help desk manager of the IT. Right? He doesn't know anything about computers. He doesn't know anything about tech at all. He doesn't know anything about it. Yet he's so high up, he's right under the director, right under him. And the thing is, he will do things and step on the director's toes, and still continually do that. And the thing is, like, but everybody in the department loves him. Like, he's a nice, and I'll say he's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He's like really outgoing, and you know, he's like, he kind of is like a charming like leader, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, he doesn't know any. His experience shows that he doesn't know anything. His actual rank is equal to a supervisor, but people take his word more than the director sometimes. And that's the thing. It's like in non-profit organizations, and that's what a school's supposed to be. Some is a non-profit organization.
Yeah.
There's a lot more community.
You want to know what the
based stuff.
worst part of the interview was that I didn't even get to yet? That makes it extra fucked.
What's up?
So you know how my aunt didn't told me that I would never be cut out to be a teacher, and like constantly made fun of me and made my like family disown me. Well, they
Yeah.
were telling me that they had heard a lot of stories about me from my aunt when I went in to take my interview. And my aunt doesn't like me.
God
And my
damn.
aunt's just a fucking secretary, too, which makes it fucking worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they admitted, like, hey, we fucking know. And then they brought up Bryce.
Oh, like the killing? Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
And the worst part is like, see, you want to know what even more cemented it? Where they're like, hey, you have a brother, right? And I'm like, I have 4. And they were shocked at that. But, like, they knew the Martinez side of my family, but they didn't know the Mendenhall side of my family. And I was like, that's really weird. My family doesn't know anybody in the school. Oh, wait. One of them does.
That's your aunt.
That's my aunt. So I found all that out.
Round.
So how'd they bring up Bryce? Like,
Gotta turn this around,
They just,
Spartan.
like, I walked through the door after they were talking shit on Ryan, and the next thing they said to me was, like, you have a brother, don't you? I was like, well, I have
okay.
4.
They just asked
Don't
if
let
you...
up on that trigger, Spartan.
Oh, okay.
But they
But
knew.
they didn't actually bring up Bryce, though. They didn't, like, actually...
Oh,
bring
no,
him
no,
up,
no.
but-
One of them brought him up by name before I even responded.
Oh, okay.
So, like, yeah, it was Bryce, though. And they knew it. What the fuck? But yeah, so that was just a thing.
Well, shit, man.
So I have felt like utter shit these last few days, and my grandma won't get off my fucking ass about getting a fucking job, and because I've been waiting to fucking hear about shit this week. So basically, this week's the last week that I have to wait to hear, and if I don't hear anything, I have to apply to other jobs.
Well, you should be applying at any possible. Man.
Oh, I'm fully aware, but like the problem is like if I get it, and I don't have to worry. But at the same time, it's like the only reason I haven't applied to one of them is I'm an active substitute. I know they don't fucking have one, so that kind of puts it out of the way. The other ones are like 30 to 40 miles away, and I don't want to do it because my truck is old.
Team took the enemy flag.
No. But sometimes, like, as much as it sucks, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I was so sure that like fucking Guyman, after all the bullshit and like screwing me out of like 2 or 3 positions, was gonna be like, yeah, the third one you'll get because we fucked up on the other 2. And then as I was in the interview, they even admitted like, oh, we dissolved all these positions. We could probably bring them back so you could teach one of them.
Return.
And like, I doubt it's been talked about since. But yeah, so.
Power items on the field.
They didn't seem super like jumping at the gun for that.
Kill.
goddamn. No, man, that fucking sucks.
What the fuck, game?
So, yeah, my job's been a little bit shitty.
What happened with yours?
I'm just really fucking just pissed off. I'm always pissed off at my job, like just working there constantly. I think people can start seeing the attitude change. Because at first
Yeah.
I was like really fucking happy about it, and I was like, I was trying to, until they fucking lied to me and twisted my arm to stay in my position, and then they gave that fucking position to somebody not even qualified to have it. Yeah, so I don't know if I told you about that shit. But
Yeah,
yeah, so-
no, they like actively cut you out of position.
yeah, basically. Yeah, they fucking like twisted my arm and shit, and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
Come on, Spartan.
But
We gotta win this.
one thing that did give me a little hope is that the director came in and he was like, he just asked me this question, and I'm like, it gave me a little bit of hope. But he was like, how would you feel about moving to Wichita? It's like, I'm just asking, like, I don't know yet, I don't know what's gonna happen, but how do you feel about moving to Wichita for a field tech position? They'll pay more and all this stuff, but you're just gonna have to move to Wichita. And I was like, fuck yeah. My coworker, he's a field tech, he gets paid $26 an hour.
They've taken our flag.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, Like, yeah, my coworker is still that he gets paid like $26 an hour, you know, like in salary wise. But,
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there like, fuck yeah, like I'll take a field tech position, you know.
Flag.
And he was like, okay,
Turn.
okay. So I'll keep you in mind, but yeah, just kind of like we don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah. So what I'm thinking is like one of the field techs over there is gonna get fired. He's always had an issue with one of the field techs over there.
God,
the
they
only
could
reason
really
he hasn't
throw
fired
those.
him is because again favoritism. So the fucking the field tech in Wichita, he's a dick. Like he will actively cuss out fucking users, and in front of kids, he'll cuss them out. Yeah, he's like so fucking he's like so fucking crude, like no filter, no nothing. That and he'll cuss out the director
Power items
too.
down.
Wait,
The only
he
reason he
cuss
still
out a
has-
director?
Yeah, and the only reason he still has his job is because the VP of the department, the VP of the department, that's his cousin.
That's
The VP
illegal.
cousin. It is. Yeah, there's a lot of that shit going on. One thing I
Yeah.
noticed is my supervisor, his nephew works in the help desk team, and he tells them what to do all the time. They're technically not in the same team, so he's technically not his supervisor, but he tells them what to do all the time, and he does it.
Seconds
So there's a bunch of that shit going on. But if that field tech gets fired, for example, I'll probably take his position. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that'd be fucking badass. Being a field tech,
10 seconds.
getting paid fucking $26 an hour. That'd be fucking awesome.
Your flag. Defeat.
Anyways,
Yeah,
Um,
I'm kind of getting screwed so much to the point where like I'm honestly almost just done with teaching, and I might just combine the two so I can work at a fucking like critical care fucking area and just make more money. Honestly,
you might do that, man.
yeah, I might
knows,
be able
like-
to find one up in fucking Kansas too, easier as well. It's just
Yeah, man.
it's just total bullshit, and like it's sad that like while at one end of the spectrum you can see the blatant nepotism, but then my aunt can literally fuck me out of a job.
Yeah. Is that what nepotism is? Favoritism?
Favoritism, but it is favoritism towards someone you are biologically related to you.
Okay.
I believe the nep in nepotism comes from the fact that like majority is done with like nephews and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's my supervisor and his
Because for the most part, the reason it's so like difficult to track that shit with nepotism is like sometimes they're distantly related, like a first or like a second cousin or a nephew. Like that shit's not always completely trackable. That's kind of why the nep exists. But like, if you can ever prove that it's a direct biological person, like, hey, it's like their straight fucking kid. Oh, there's no way in fuck. Even if they're in a different department, no, fuck that. But if that position has any oversight over anything else or anything that they have, even if they're like primary care or family, even like like a first nephew, like they can get in trouble for that shit too.
Well, the thing is, I was talking to one of the fucking directors, right?
Yeah.
And he says that he's like, oh, I was having a phone, right? Going to this one girl, and then the director of that department came in, and he was like talking to me. He was like, oh, that girl, like that she's a supervisor. She's right under me, and she's my wife. And I was like, that seems illegal, you know? That seems
Yeah.
like straight up actually illegal. Like you can't really do that because you can't, you know?
Yeah. No, that is
Especially
straight
if it's
illegal.
non-profit.
That is very
Yeah.
illegal.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck, I can't. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of that shit, and they don't even report. They don't report it. There's no. They're not following the vaccine mandates at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
they don't
the
follow
problem
it.
with vaccine mandates, though, is like
It's hard to enforce.
it's very hard to enforce them because there's so many like independent business laws and things in place.
Yeah, and I get that, but there was a lot of shit that they were doing. So I'm like, this company's a little sketchy.
Yeah, that's super fucked.
Yeah.
Whereas in my shit, it's like, oh hey, they just molested a child. That's not sketch.
Nepotism.
Fucking kidsism, but not really nepotism.
Kidsism. Pedophism? Pedophism.
Yeah,
There it
you
is.
know what? I'll allow pedophism.
The enemy carrier.
Like, this Twitch streaming even allow the word pedophile?
Fuck yeah. I'm also
Okay.
considered a mature stream, so most of my streams are censored. Or you
Okay.
have to at least click a thing whenever you come in, like, hey, I'm 18. I don't even stream for like the content or like to get famous. I just stream. I like to keep an archive, so like later in life I can go back and look at it. I've actually started editing my videos. I had the first one. It was a fucking Avengers video I did for the Avengers game. And it was like 2.5 hours, and I got it down to like an hour 30 of content. I need to really
nice.
like be more critical, I think, of shit, and just if I focused on funny moments, I think I could get shit down to like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
Or
I
like,
like
you like
the-
have 10-minute clips and just put them on YouTube, or 5-minute clips, put them on YouTube.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
don't know how
and
to
it-
do
and
that
it just
from
put a
the
link to-
video thing yet.
Enemy captured your flag.
Wow, that was good play. I'm not even angry about that one.
What
that was
happened?
just me being outplayed. Fuck. I'm gonna salute that guy. Fuck. Dude, I had no chance. I had no chance.
Luis, coming up on our flag, in the direction in front of me.
The enemy carrier.
Fuck. Got him.
Enemy flag.
Yeah, you're the one that got him. Good job.
Fuck you.
Flag.
You know what I meant.
I know what you meant. I just had to be an
Thrusters
asshole.
acquired.
But no, man. I'm gonna take their flag and I'm gonna just go.
God damn it.
Punch that guy.
Oh,
Fuck
but you got
you.
shot in the back and executed.
That's a load of particles.
So
not gonna lie.
that is the shit I am dealing with, and I'm still like kind of like fucked family wise. You know, like my friend group, video game wise, is also kind of like gone silent. So now it's pretty much just like me and Unholy and a new guy and like you and Ryan now.
Yeah.
Not even enough
And
for a
who's the new
Destiny
guy?
raid. Valkyrie.
Oh. Who's he?
He's a friend through Unholy.
Oh, okay.
He's a cool dude. He leans a little politically right, but he's more like compromising than most.
Yo, where am I going? Where am I going? Oh, flag away. Other way.
Flag
No,
return.
not the other way. Load of particles. Somebody's coming after me. Somebody's coming after me. That's a fucking piece of shit, motherfucker.
Yeah. So I've been like figuring out what the fuck I want to do. I've just been basically putting off a bunch of shit so that way I can get like my job stuff figured out. But like my job stuff keeps getting more and more fucking like
Flag returned.
messy and fucking weird. So I'm at a point now where I'm just fucking like bummed out. And I got to admit, like
The enemy carrier.
Sean getting fucking like straight engaged and not telling any of us was probably like the last of my giving a fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it popped up on Facebook, but everybody knows I don't fucking look at Facebook, so.
Flag returned.
Slam it in. No.
We've lost a teammate.
Dude, I'm chasing after him.
Don't with our pleasure. Good God.
Ah, fuck. I'm just fucking around, dude. I'm like,
Enemy flag returned. Enemy flag.
God damn it. We are not winning any of these games. I can't wait till the game finally releases and it lets you pick a fucking game
The
though.
enemy flag.
God. I only really like playing like Slayer and big team battles, so like having to fucking play capture the flag honestly just pisses me off.
up. That's a lot of particles.
I just panicked and like had an AIDS moment where I just pressed like every button but the button I wanted to and still won. Love that when that happens.
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves. Another one down.
Yeah, they're just gonna feel the wrath of the extra chromosome to me. Fuck.
Enemy captured your
But no, I...
defeat.
Let me close my door. Thank you. Shiva, you big old girl. You big old girl. Shiva, you big
So,
old...
I was listening to a psychologist, right, that plays video games, and he also helps people that play video games, you know, or just helps gamers, executives, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
His name is Healthy Gamer GG. Like that's his name on YouTube. And then I was listening to him break down, like he was talking to an incel, right? And he was kind of he was talking to him, and this was such a crazy like stream. Like the entire time, like he was breaking down his mind, showing him his cognitive bias right then and there. And he was like, the guy that went on, he was actually really smart. Like he wasn't like he wasn't dumb. And it's not like he was like an incel where he was a misogynist, you know. But he was like, but he just had trouble getting women. He was single for 35 years and never had a girlfriend. And yeah, he was like and he kind of like broke down his thought process, and then at the end of it, the guy was crying and just like he was laughing. He was laughing, like he had this like laugh that was actually like pure, you know, kind of like laughing at his mind as like the fact that he thought it was hopeless, but he actually like he realized that was the issue, and just kind of like laughed about it, you know. It was like a pure laugh, and I was like, I really need to see a psychologist. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Like
I
somebody
technically
like.
am a psychologist.
But the thing is, you're my friend.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of psychologists don't actually treat their friends. You know.
Well, no, I know, but I meant more for like my own treatment.
Oh yeah. You can probably be aware of things in real time, but
Yeah, it's like I could never get to a point where I wanted to kill myself because my brain won't rationally let me do that. So that's always a plus.
That's why every single time I feel like shit, I listen to a book, and it's not because it's a self-help book, but it's like like that. I tell you about this book all the time. Everything is fucked. That's a book that's just like it just breaks down how you hoping, the hope in itself is the issue. Like whenever you hope for things to get better all the time, like. That's the issue that actually plagues you and makes you suffer. And he says, like, live life without hope, but live life with value, right? Like, build your values, build the things that you believe in. And
it's like, don't get me wrong, like even with a psychology degree, you're still gonna beat yourself up over shit. And you could be upset about your current events, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's just like, God, dude, you know, like things could be going so much better, but like, not.
Yeah, it's not. But at the same time, it's like you can
God damn it.
You can try to rationalize your situation.
Pretty much.
It's like that's going to be evidence to the things that you already currently believe. So about yourself. So this is what cognitive bias is. It's like you find things, and it just becomes an evidence of the thing you already believe about yourself. So if you feel like you're a reject and like you can't get girls, for example, right? Anything like any failure.
But that's also
that come from
confirmation
that,
bias too.
that's confirmation bias. It is confirmation bias, but it's all. But it's also that'll be evidence.
God,
like that'll be like whenever somebody questions it, you're always going to bring up more and more evidence to argue what you already believe. You know.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
But yeah, so it's just I barely learned about that, and I know you know, but I just
No. I'm
it's-
letting you talk. You're interested in the subject. I'm gonna let you talk about it.
yeah.
No, it's like
I recently become interested in it because I was listening to that psychologist, and I was just like, that's interesting because a lot of the mindset of that guy that he was talking to, I have that mindset too, you know. Like that guy, like he believed he was hopeless. I believe, like in a way, I still do believe it, but it's not like as much. It's because like I realize like, hell, what if I am hopeless? Why not still live a life of honest values? Well, so what am I gonna lose? Sure, I'll feel pain, but life is full of pain. You're always gonna feel pain, no matter what. You're never gonna escape it.
yeah.
So you're just gonna always feel pain, and you might as well feel pain with a life of values, a life of honesty. At least try to be as honest as you can, because nobody can truly be
God damn it, really?
fully 100% honest. They can just be as honest as they can, you know?
Yeah. Totally get that. Yeah, no, I'm just, just like, even if I can rationalize it and help myself, it's like, yeah, I know at the end of the day shit'll get better, and I've got like this optimistic idea of like, hey, I need to just start looking for like more online friends, because honestly, the thing that was holding me back from that for the longest time was Sean, which is funny because as soon as he's gone, I got a new guy introduced, Val, which is one of Unholy's friends, because Unholy kind of like took that approach before I did, and honestly, the dude's a cool guy. There's a couple other guys that play with Unholy, but sadly, one of them doesn't get on regularly, but there was another history major. I don't remember. Valk might have been the history major. I don't know. There were at least two that Unholy brought in. I feel like it was probably Valk.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about, like history. I remember that. You guys were talking about it, and then we were just kind of talking about the. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah,
that
and
guy
like,
was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, totally cool. Like new one of my newer favorites. And it's just like, he's even when he has a different political view, it's not terrible. The only thing I probably have ever disagreed on is, probably his thoughts on the Kyle Rittenhouse shit.
On the what?
His thoughts on the Kyle Rittenhouse shit, I did not completely agree with.
See, and this is the thing. Okay. I have some thoughts on the Kyle Rittenhouse case too, but it's more like along the lines of both sides are fucking wrong.
Yeah, but
Because...
I can at least get him to be like, hey, he shouldn't have had the gun. Hey, him getting out of like gun things because of like hunting laws and like his parents being divorced is bullshit, because full well that like if he was black they wouldn't have even tried that shit.
Oh yeah, full well.
And he admitted to that. So like props to him. He'll at least meet you in the middle.
Like there's some intellectual honesty there, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You have to be intellectually honest about.
And you can have your own opinion and it differentiates. I might not agree with it, but at least like there's a compromise. Because I'll admit, like I'm like, yeah, no, the whole thing wasn't black and white. Probably
no,
way to say
it
that,
wasn't. Anybody who pretends it was black and white is just intellectually dishonest because of the fact that. He was a 17-year-old kid that didn't have his fucking frontal lobe fully formed yet, and that's kind of important to take.
Yeah, he literally had like a facial deformity. Like that's a sign of Downs.
No, yeah, but no, it's just not just only that. It's just he just didn't have not only his values formed, he didn't have his entire perspective or worldview formed, and he was bound to do something irrational. So my question was, why were the cops just letting him go around with the fucking gun?
Why was he allowed to do the shit he did and be in that area when he had parents?
Exactly. Why did his parents take him across state lines with a fucking firearm? Why? Why
See,
did the fucking mayor didn't do anything about the riots? Why? Why?
And that's
the
kind of
thing.
where I'm at.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he was just a kid that was in a fucking bad situation, and shit ended up going south, and people ended up dying.
There's
And
no-
it's all, and I don't think
oh,
he's a
just-
terrible kid, but I don't think, you know, I don't automatically assume that he's just gonna be
God,
like,
I'm just
that
getting
he's a
triple
sociopath
teamed.
or something.
5
You know,
minutes
like some people
remaining.
just think he's a sociopath or he's a racist or this and that. I'm like, he's a fucking kid, dude. Like, you know, I don't know.
But no, like that whole shit.
And we
that whole
failed
shit,
him as a
like-
society.
Oh yeah, that whole shit and scenario is like super fucked. But yeah, I got a bunch of games. I got all the Pokemons for the Switch, and I got The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. I've already beaten Breath of the Wild on the Switch, and I am just now setting up all my Twitch stuff to stream on my new, or not on my new, but on my PS4 because I have the Spider-Man and the God of War games, and then I have all the Dot Hack, fucking
Dude, you're building up a collection, man.
yeah, I am, and all these
Did
are
you-
physical, so.
Did you find any of the games on the list?
Sadly, no, my friend. I have pretty much, but I will say that games that you were talking about, especially like that one that you were like, man, I can't find this or whatever. It's very clearly on Amazon, and you might find a good thing with it.
Yeah. I
Like
know.
there's
I was
there's
just,
some decent
I was
deals
just-
on Amazon, but no, basically I at the current moment, like since COVID and shit, all the fucking retro shit has suffered severely, and like I get some of my best retro stuff when I go to major cities. So like when I go down to like Amarillo and stuff, like I totally can. Which I think I'm going down the 30th of this month. So I'm gonna go down there and check and see if I can find any of the games you guys are looking for.
Yeah, it's all good. I was just asking just because
No,
I
you're
was
good.
wondering about that, but
You're good.
the main thing I'm gonna buy first is a graphics card from my coworker, so
Yeah.
that way I can play VR games. I want to play Half-Life Alyx.
I've been
'cause I did-
finding a fuck ton of Nintendo games. Like, there's an original copy of Mario Sunshine an hour away from me, and an original copy of Mario Kart Double Dash. Those were interesting to me. Other than that, I haven't found a whole lot of interesting shit.
You need have you tried the? I know you tried the VR and the arcade stuff, but I think you need to try the VR headset because in terms of
I don't
like,
have the space to have like a good VR setup.
Oh no. Like, well, like one day we'll probably just whenever we get a chance we can hang out, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you try on the VR headset.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's long.
And
Triple the score.
the one game that I love, but I see why people get extremely motion sick from it. It's called Resist, and it's basically fucking Spider-Man, Attack on Titans, fucking what else? Oh yeah, it's like Spider-Man VR basically.
Okay.
And you just go like around a big city, and you just like swing around like really fucking fast too. It's open world. And it's
Is that the one with the
fucking
robots
fun.
and shit in it?
Yeah. Dude, it's fun, man. It's fun. The thing is, like, I want to have, that's just one of those games it's a small game. It's not gonna be like a fucking AAA game.
Got 'em.
There's only two AAA. I would say there's only like 2 true AAA games on the VR headset, on the VR space. That's Half-Life Alyx and Asgard's Wrath.
Okay.
I heard Phoneworks was good, but like a lot of people when they say when they say they like Phoneworks, it's good. It's immersive, but it's actually not a good game. Like it's extremely immersive.
Fuck. Oh, damn it, Luigi, don't know. I got him. I still got
Got
him.
him.
Killing
No, you know?
spree.
Yeah, the needles blew up in him.
Taking damage. Ball dropped.
We've lost
I know.
possession.
I don't know. I've been obsessed with fucking VR.
What the fuck?
Recently.
Drop. We have the ball.
Yeah. Totally get that.
Drop.
Right now I'm trying to build up my retro collection. Like, I got a GameCube and my brother fucking stole it from my house, so I'm pissed off about that.
Enemy has the ball.
Rice stole it?
Yep, came to my house and fucking stole it.
Like actually stole it or borrow it?
No, he stole it.
Seize the ball.
Basically, what happened is my brother took an Xbox One S from my little brother when he was 12 years old, lied to him, told him it was broken, then gave him his shitty one, and then told him, but since I'm giving you the shittier one, all it needed was an update, and they just had shitty internet because they're out of the country. That's all that was wrong with it. Bryce is just an asshole. So then my little brother fell for it, and he's like, but to make up the difference, I'm giving you my GameCube with all my games. So then Bryce took all the games that night when he left, too. But Boomer had some of them hidden away, so he got to keep them. And then I bought the GameCube for my little brother, and then my brother came into my house when nobody was home and stole it. And when my grandma caught him doing it, it scared the fuck out of him.
Wow.
And I told her that he was not allowed to take it, and he told her that he was, so when I got home, it was gone. So now I need another fucking GameCube that I've already spent fucking money on. Pisses me off. Fucking what else? I'm missing one other thing. What is it? The GameCube and the PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. I don't give a fuck about the PS5. Oh, the original Xbox. I need a GameCube and an original Xbox. I've got cucked out of my deal to get an original Xbox, so now I have to start my new shit over from scratch.
My brother's getting a PS5.
There you go.
But,
See, I still haven't got my money's worth from the PS4, so like...
I don't know. I feel like Final Fantasy VII, God of War.
Yeah, I have God of War and all the Spider-Mans. I have all the SAOs. I have the .hack games in the special collection. I just need to get Final Fantasy VII, but like I don't think I'm gonna devote any money towards the PS5 until the PS4 is completely weeded out.
Oh, in terms of like the actual games.
Yeah, until they stop making games for it. That's when I'll probably end up getting a PS5.
There's a lot of not a lot. There's still much called Ratchet and Clank and no Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is not really.
I was gonna say I have
There's
Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Yeah, it's one Ratchet and Clank game. No offense, but if you played one, you played them all.
Although I heard this one was
it's
really
good.
special.
I've watched it, but it's like no offense. It's got a new mechanic in it, and that's the gimmick. It's got a gimmick that looks cinematic as fuck, and people enjoy it.
Yeah. I feel like it's more than just a gimmick, though. Like, it shows off the actual capabilities of the console. That's even more... That can only be done on the PS5.
Oh no, I guarantee you could play that sumbitch on a PS4. Maybe with a little bit worse graphics, but I'm sorry. I still think it could be
But the
done on
actual way
PS4.
to load in? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't...
The amount of assets you're going to have to load in real time? That's insane.
We've lost possession.
That's completely insane, man. I don't think you could do that on the PS4.
I think you could if you got the Pro.
I mean, I have a Pro, and the Pro is pretty good.
I just
actually have a
ninja'd
Pro.
that guy.
It's ours now.
But, yeah, it's just... I don't know.
Did you hear me? I just ninja'd a motherfucker.
Gained the lead.
Ninja.
I got him. Oh, fuck. I'm surrounded. Damn it. What's up, Sheba? What's up, Sheba, baby? No, you're not getting on the bed. No. No. There is stuff on here, and after I'm done playing with Elise, I am going to go back to my accounting of all of my games because I still haven't charted all the ones I got over the fucking break. I have to catalog all my Switch games, and my new Xbox games, and my Sega and 64 games, and then price check them.
Ball reset. Ball incoming.
I'm gonna take the gravity hammer. I can't believe nobody took the gravity hammer! Fuck you! I died. So I lost points for self-destruction.
That's fine.
Enemy has the ball.
I'm going for the gravity hammer. Yes, I'm gonna get it.
Good fucking god. Damn it. But no, just dealing with a lot of bullshit, and I'm just bummed out. And
Yeah.
you know, just like reflecting on some stuff. Like, I don't have as many friends, but at the same time, that doesn't really hurt me because honestly, I'm getting some toxic ones out of my life,
Yeah.
like Caden and all that shit.
Yeah. When's the last time you talked to Caden?
When I told him I wasn't coming to his fucking wedding, and he got mad at me.
When was that?
Probably like 6 months ago.
Probably what?
6 months ago.
Nearing
Oh, damn.
victory.
Yeah, like he pretty much was pissed off that I didn't show, but I think that I was the only longtime friend he had left at that point.
Enemy has the ball.
He had made a bunch of poor decisions and then got with a woman that we didn't
Power items
mutually
on the way.
agree of, where she was kind of physically abusive to him. And I was like, that's not cool, but he was fucking desperate, and he'd already been engaged like 5 times at that point.
Enemy Spartans are closing
Power
in.
items.
That's not even like an overestimation or any of that shit. He has literally been engaged like 5 times now. If that tells you anything about Caden. Yeah, he was engaged 2 or 3 times while I was in Dodge. He was engaged at the end of high school with fucking Dakota before they split. And keep in mind, he cheated on all these women at one point. And then
But he
he
was
got,
engaged with Dakota?
yeah, but it was like an unofficial engagement. They promised rings and everything.
Ball drop.
Oh, okay.
The rest of them were official. He just probably wasn't as vocal with some as he was of others on Facebook. So he got with like 1 or 2 girls while he was at a different college that I was at while I was at Dodge. And then he got with a girl at Dodge and then moved to Dodge while I was still there. And then he cheated on her and she cheated on him. And then he got with another girl in between, and then he settled on the one he's with now. And my first interpretation of her was her constantly kicking him in the dick or punching him in the dick while we went to the fucking casino. He's like, she does that a lot. And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
Well, I mean, okay. If they're doing that for fun.
Well, see, it wasn't
I can
fun.
see
He
it.
didn't enjoy it. He was pissed off. He couldn't get her to
Oh.
stop doing it. It was a situation where I'm like, dude, just tell her no. And he's like, well, she won't stop. And I'm like, what are you, a fucking kid? I'm like, no offense. Why would you get with somebody who enjoys hitting you?
Yeah. Isabel fucking did that shit, and then I nipped it in the bud. I was like, fucking stop. Like, I fucking told her straight up, and she never did it again.
Yeah, but did she do some other fucked up shit too?
He pulled a knife, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that one.
Oh, yeah, she pulled a knife.
Damn it, really? How did we not trade? I even watched my punch animation. That doesn't matter. But no, fucking... So that was the thing with Caden. Like, me and Javen aren't toxic. In fact, I think I could still consider him a friend, but, like, we just don't talk. Like, honestly, that's all it is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like you kind of move away from all that shit, you know?
Yeah, but, like, I honestly feel like me and Caden and Zach were like friends for necessity. Like the moment we weren't near each other, we just stopped being friends, and that's probably for the better because Zach turned out to be an alcoholic and a racist.
I mean, I'm an alcoholic, but not a racist. I at least have that, you know?
He's shameless racist, or like he posts that shit on fucking Facebook. Yeah, I honestly need to remove him because it's starting to piss me off because I keep seeing like fucking like weird shit. Like he took the
Fucking
Kyle
stealing on
Rittenhouse to like a racial place and he shouldn't have.
Camo inbound.
Yeah. I don't think any side should really take it because I'm like, that you guys have no evidence. The people they shot were white, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's not technically
Sure, you can say
racially
you-
motivated. It was just,
yeah.
it was probably not the wisest decision, and I think everybody
Oh,
can agree
definitely.
with that.
Definitely not the wisest decision. If you could, yeah,
Enemy has the ball.
not the wisest decision. And
Enemy halfway to victory.
oh, it'd be a tough call. Like,
Man, what is
looking
up
at
with
all
the balancing in this shit lately? Like, we have lost every fucking game. You figure they would put us in a match where our teammates didn't suck dick.
Well, you have me with you.
Luis, one of our guys left, and the other guy has a single kill. I think you're fine.
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
Hostile carrier down.
I don't think you could do as bad as someone who isn't here and someone who has one kill. I think you'll do.
Thank you. That'll do.
That'll do.
Nearing victory.
Gosh, you son of a bitch. Give me that fucking skull.
Hold on to that.
Dude, I
Win.
fucking grappled somebody.
But no, that's essentially it. It's like, honestly, like, I probably should have dropped Sean and Josiah both whenever this shit got super toxic.
Yeah.
So I think that's honestly probably for the best.
Enemy has the ball.
But honestly, it's like,
Ball dropped.
I've gone pretty toxic too. So like you kind of
Yeah, but
stopped
you
me.
like I didn't ever technically drop you. You kind of dropped us for a bit because you were like self-reflecting.
Yeah.
We never like mutually were just like, oh fuck Luis, let's get rid of him. Like you made some bad choices, but like honestly, like, hey man, like who hasn't made some shitty choices? I'm not gonna judge you for it. I think Ryan took
Yeah.
it harder than I did.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you had one bad instance with him. Here's my other people. Keep in mind, I probably wouldn't have been friends with all of these people if Ryan hadn't introduced me. And
Yeah.
honestly, they negatively affected my life because I stopped hanging out and playing with certain friend groups and people who played video games. And now, what do I have to show for it? Like an even worse fucking group of friends that I chose. So like, I fucked up by choosing the wrong side. And I will fully admit that. Like Logan, Slade. Like, Slade's good now, but, like, Slade will always choose Logan over us, so I'm not really giving a fuck on any of that. But it's like, Logan's a piece of shit who beats women. Steven's a fucking piece of shit who tried to cheat on his girlfriend. Josiah's a piece of shit who supports Steven cheating on his fucking girlfriend and is a fucking crazy fucking motherfucker who, like, said I owed him for being friends with him. Like, thought I owed him actual fucking money.
What?
Like, took it to a racial place, like... Or I mean, didn't take it to a racial place. Basically, we stopped being friends because I told him, hey, if you're not gonna deal with your anger, because he was upset over COVID and the political shit with Donald Trump. Here's the thing: he was another history major and he was hard left. I'm like more centered and kind of can go either way. He was hard left, and so he was all butthurt whenever Trump was in office and the COVID shit happened. And instead of handling that like a normal human being, it made his life worse. He took it out on other people. He took his aggression out of other people, and he just became a piece of shit.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, so that comes from a fear of not knowing what the future's gonna hold. It's a fear of the future, right?
Yeah.
It's anxiety. It's basically what it is, and which is fairly understandable because we did have a fucking orangutan as a fucking president.
Yeah.
Which it's so to be scared of that, that's understandable. But to that take up your entire life
Personality
is
and
a
life.
whole nother
It's like the
different level.
QAnon people. Like, I think the same thing of him. He just became like the hard left equivalent of it.
Yeah.
And he got toxic, and like I helped him out. I like stood by his side. I did a bunch of shit. I never will ever say that he owed me anything or anything like that. I just thought we were close because like we could have intellectual conversations, and I thought we were like good buddies. Turns out none of that was true. And he was a fucking bastard. And he decided that like, hey, I'm gonna turn into an asshole and a monster. And here's the thing. Sean always has this thing that he's like, Sean's got like mental issues, so I constantly have to like get him on the right track and be like, dude, stop doing this shit, stop taking your anger out on other people, stop doing dumb shit, stop chasing fucking women and hurting yourself. Like I can't tell you how to live your life, but like if you're not gonna at least like make an attempt to correct it, then like don't bitch about it and don't take it out on other people, because Sean's just as bad in that department. Especially because he's got way more anger issues than Josiah. Josiah's were just at a tipping point.
Yeah.
So, you know, I call off Josiah, but Sean, since we met, hated me in the beginning. Then he like liked me. Then he started sending me messages about him wanting to kill himself. So then when I said, okay, well, let's get a hold of his mother and like get this sorted out, he got fucking mad at me and then tried to like kick me out of their friend group for doing that. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was
Don't
like,
worry about.
yeah.
That's
And the
a
worst part is
fucking
they were
high level bullshit.
Yes, he was literally my Kai. And here's the worst part: he didn't even like me. He was telling me this shit because he was afraid to tell it to the other people because he thought they would judge him. He didn't give a fuck about my opinion. He just wanted to say it to somebody, even though he didn't fucking like me. And that's literally all it was. He was pulling a guy.
Wow.
Yeah, so he does that, and then like we constantly have fights. Then he starts like not showing up for a couple months. Josiah kind of does the same thing, but we're not fighting at that point. So like, you know, like that's a little bit more like understandable. So then Sean comes back in, we start playing regularly. Sean keeps putting in this rule, like people can't join the parties, and like we can't talk to strangers, or he'll get pissed off and leave the party. So like at that time I was still going into like game chat and like chilling with people and having a good time, but I basically had to swear it off because him and the rest of those toxic motherfuckers were all against that shit.
What? You can't talk to strangers?
Pretty much. And like at that point, like all of my fucking friends, that I had played games with, like Tyler, Javen's cousin, had dropped off. Javen stopped playing video games. A bunch of my friends stopped playing video games. You had gone off the grid. And you were dealing with your own thing, and like literally Ryan was busy with his college, so like I had nobody. So I was in a group alienated out, and I felt like shit, honestly. I felt miserable, but like I at least liked one or two of them, so I like put up with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that point, that was really all I had. Which is sad to say, but it's just the way it goes. So basically, you know, I put up with it, stuck it out, and then at the end of the day, I had to make a choice between Sean or Josiah, which I didn't even make that choice originally. It was like I told them both, hey, you both need to grow the fuck up, stop picking fights. So Sean's like, okay, I'll do it. Josiah told me to go fuck myself, and I owe him. And I was like, well, we're not friends anymore. I'm nipping that in the butt. And I said, well, we're not friends anymore. Go fuck yourself. I said, I tried to do it civilly, and I was being civil the entire time, but just he thought Sean was beneath him, and he thought I was beneath him, so he pulled that kind of bullshit. So I was like, all right, you know what, go fuck yourself. And now Sean started doing that shit, and like Sean was dealing with a lot of fucked up shit while he was going to school. He was putting up a bunch of bullshit, and then like these girls who kept screwing him over, and this girl that cheated on him got with another dude, chose another dude over him, and like pulled a bunch of bullshit where she had sex with him for revenge sex, and then another one was manipulating him. By the way, the horrible one that I'm describing in the first. Oh, I'm not breaking up, Luis. It's you.
The enemy carrier.
Oh, me?
It's
Fuck.
you.
Okay, well, I can hear you now. Well,
Okay,
repeat that?
Okay, so you want me to repeat the girl stuff?
Yeah, well,
what-
I know you were talking about the Josiah and, like he basically just told you,
Go fuck myself, and then you missed
go
everything
fuck
after
yourself.
that?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, then I stuck to Sean and thought he was going to grow the fuck up. Well, then he starts there are 2 or 3 girls he's constantly chasing. One's a fucking idiot. The other one keeps leading him on, so he eventually gets rid of her. And then he tries to get with this one girl who was bi, who had sex with a dude in front of him. He was literally just like turning into a cuck or an incel. Which is why he gets so offended by that shit. So then the other option, the more nuclear of all of them, honestly, is a girl who cheats on him or leads him on, tells him she's not ready to date, decides to date another man over him after she had told him that she wasn't able or ready to date. And then gets pissed off at her boyfriend, drops out of school because she was a fuck up, and now she's going back to school thanks to Sean helping pay for it.
Yeah.
And basically, total fuck up. He's like, she's an idiot. She couldn't even pass her EMT things. He's constantly talking shit about her, like, oh, she's this fucking moron. And, then why were you attracted to her? He talked a major amount of shit on her after, she did him dirty. And then, he's acting like he was blessed, and then really he wasn't. So she cheats on her boyfriend with Sean, gets back with her boyfriend. Basically, Sean was a fucking revenge bang, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. A rebound. Sean was a rebound. So she does all this shit, and like Sean's super at that point still against like smoking, drugs, and alcohol because he's like super anti all of it. So like she heavily
That's
smokes
stupid.
like a pack a day. So like he hated that too. Like I mean, there was a lot of shit, and she just kept doing increasingly more and more fucked up shit. So then he's like, I'm done with her. I'm not gonna fuck with her anymore. So then he hides the fact that he's talking and dating her for 3 months and only tells Bryce.
Yeah.
Bryce of all people. Because Bryce agrees with all the fucked up shit he does, which really just shows that like I'm sorry, but if you're relating to Bryce, if Bryce is your fucking, but yeah, if Bryce is your moral conscience, then you're already a fucking moron because he's literally got blood on his hands. I'm sorry, he's my brother, and I kind of have to love him, but like even I can't stand a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
That's
essentially,
all.
that's essentially it. And I just constantly kept having to put up with shit. Then he would take breaks. Then he would get upset. So then he gets mad about me like putting in the chat the thing about Call of Duty fans being cucks after what the new game did to the fan base. And yeah, I did say that a little bit out of spite. Not really directed at him, but I was just pissed off because
He got mad out of that?
Enemy captured.
yeah, he got mad out of that.
Who gives a fuck? It's just a game.
Because he felt like I was targeting him. Because I said that Call of Duty fans. Yeah, because I said Call of Duty fans were cucks because they like to get fucked because the new version doesn't even have a legitimate zombie thing. It's just a fucking wave mode. I'm like, the story literally has an on-rail shooting section. It sucks dick. There are boundaries in all the fucking levels. The graphics are fucked up. Like, the gameplay's super unbalanced in the multiplayer. The shotguns are even worse than they've been in any Call of Duty. And to make matters worse, that amazing story they proclaimed was like frontlined by like the crazy feminists who have been ruining Hollywood, who got a hold of it and wanted to make it more cinematic. So the whole thing is fucked. And it's not even historically accurate. It's based off of like an alternate timeline where like World War II's almost continued because of a protege Hitler had to take things up afterwards. And there's this amazing like thing they have that's going to end the world, and it's not even addressed in the story once you get to the end. You just stop it, but you never see what it is. Like, that's fucking lazy and that's fucking stupid. I'm sorry, but the Call of Duty fan base is kind of dead at the moment, and the game is fucking one of the most hated things ever, and Battlefield's kind of getting the same shit. So I'm like, you know, I'm kind of happy I've hopped on the Halo bandwagon. But it was also like I was constantly having to like play specific games, and if I played a game without him, he would get fucking upset or throw a fit, and he would always set rules to play games. And I was like, is this even worth it? Because like the new Borderlands has that system where you can be any level and play with your friends and have it balanced, and he still didn't want to do that. He was like, when we have to do the same level, we have to do this, but then he would play on his own, and then he would stop playing with you.
Yeah, that's so
Toxic and
goddamn.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yes.
controlling.
And the only reason I put up with it is I kind of like, don't get me wrong, out of all the friends I've had, family-wise, he's probably the one who understood me the most, coming from a split home. So I gave him more leniency than I probably would give anyone else besides you or Ryan.
Yeah.
And that was my fuck up, because I should have put my foot down a lot harder. And now he has made his bed.
Like, I don't think that's a fuck up on your part, man. You wanted to relate to somebody, especially like me and Ryan have had pretty well-off families, you know, and you haven't, you know, and you never could feel like you can relate to somebody like having like a family system that's supposed to be unconditional, that's supposed to be more mature, was completely immature. It was completely kind of like transactional.
Oh,
like,
dude, I know, and I went over to
grow up
Ryan's
with.
over the break, and I was like, dude, this is so fucking nice.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. It's like
His fucking
I realize
his
that
niece
now.
molested me. His niece molested me, man. I looked at Ryan because his niece was like calling me like names and telling me I was trash and calling me a bad guy and telling me to leave, and then like, I shit you not, within like 2 or 3 minutes she changes her mind to like, I'm the greatest person on earth. So she's like, I like you, you're my friend, you're my sister, and then she starts fucking kissing my arm and latching on to me. And I was like, Ryan, leave it to your family to have the kids molest the adults. And I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I feel bad for her because she's got some like physical and slightly developmental issues because of her like heart murmur and stuff. So I like put up with her, and his mom's like, you know, we can like rip her off you if you want. I'm like, nah, it's fine. So like this little kid was just like this guy's awesome, and like just wouldn't fucking let go of me. It was honestly like having like one of the fucking Huey, but I was it was wholesome. It was wholesome, pretty much. Yeah.
That's funny. No, like the thing is like I can understand how you like why you give it so many chances. I don't think that's a fuck up. I really don't think that's a fuck up. It's just somebody that you gave chances that failed you. You know?
Yeah, because I thought I could relate to him. And honestly, it only makes me more betrayed. It honestly makes me feel more betrayed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I understand that, man. It's not like it doesn't come from an irrational place. It doesn't come from a place of like, yeah, you gave him a lot of chances, and
because there was a point where I was like, this dude's like top 3 friends, like Ryan, Luis, and this guy. Don't get me wrong, Juicy's like definitely top 4. It's just if Juicy doesn't live with me and I've never really hung out with him in person, stuff like that. So like, I can't put Juicy on the basically. It's like we've known each other for longer than I've known you and Ryan, but like I've never met him physically, and he always gets busy with work, so like there's always these like constant moments of like there's months at a time where I just don't see the motherfucker.
Yeah. So it's kind of like me and my friend Austin. So it'd be months at a time I don't talk to him. I consider him as a really fucking close friend.
Yeah.
Like on the level of you and Ryan and Sam a little bit. Sam's been kind of falling off on my end because he's just taking to a whole new level.
Taking what?
Drinking to a whole new level.
Is that the one that's also a cook, or which one is that?
Yeah. He's also a cook.
Wait, is that the one that's also married?
Got the camo.
No.
Or got a girlfriend living with him?
No, that's. I don't remember. Okay, so I don't have to. So Austin, which is the one that he was, he thought he was trans person. He was wanting to transition. I don't think he's wanting to anymore. I just think it was just something that he was having identity issues. You know?
Yeah.
Which happens. Especially whenever you just don't know what you're doing with your life. You know, he is living with his girlfriend. No, he's actually engaged.
Okay, so that's the one that's engaged.
Yeah, he's engaged. The other one, Jason, the one that I never talk to anymore at all, that he's engaged and living with his girlfriend. But I think the reason why we don't talk is because he's focused on this relationship. I talked to him like a couple months ago for the first time in like 2 years. Just kind of
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm glad that like you're now back on and we've been having a good go. I've been trying to get on more regularly. I've just been dealing with job shit, and I've just been so depressed to play. Especially because like Ryan's been busy, and then like this shit with Sean and just like all this bullshit. I was just like, dude, I just like somehow for the first time in my life, video games are no longer fun for me. Like right now, I'm having a good time and I'm enjoying it, but I was just way too bummed out.
And see, the thing is, like, video games stopped being fun for me for a while. And the thing is, like, now, it's gone to a point where it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's not like how it was in the past, but it's still fun. Like, I just wish I could get to that point where I just love it, you know? Like,
that's the problem with serotonin. You build up a tolerance for certain activities, so video games will never be as fun as the first time you played them.
Yes, but also I think it's also because like whenever I was playing video games, that was all that was of my life, man. because whenever I was I had my Xbox 360, especially the first time we had internet in my house. And we didn't have internet in my house until high school.
Yeah, I can relate. I was an Xbox 360 junkie with you when we played Destiny 1 before we all
Destiny 1.
transitioned to the fucking 1.
Yes, but before then, I remember when the Modern Warfare 3 came out, right? And this was my first time going online, playing online multiplayer. And I was just hooked, dude.
Mine was Halo 3.
This is why... And see, like, okay, Halo 3 was my... like, what I played with my brother and his friends, and we all played locally on the small TV. Each of us had a fucking corner, you know? We would all just try to shoot each other and kill each other, you know? So... It was all local play on Halo 3, but I did play multiplayer there. The online that. But Modern Warfare 3 was the first true multiplayer game I played. And that was that's why I think Modern Warfare 3 is my favorite Call of Duty. It's my favorite. And because that was the first time I had internet, that was the first time I played it. And I still have flashbacks to when I was playing it. I was just putting on music and just playing Call and just trying to what's it called? Gold out my weapons and stuff like that. Like that was still my like I still have fucking memory of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
No, I'm the same way, but it was more like Halo 3 ODST, which had the Halo 3 multiplayer, and Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
That was my shit. But no, I totally get it. That's why, like, I've been super excited to play Halo with somebody, but, like, none of my friends are into Halo, and besides Juicy, who's not on regularly, and that's so sad for me, dude. I was like, bro, I just want to play Halo with the homies.
Dude, Halo's fucking awesome. Okay, so Halo 4 was my shit in terms of multiplayer.
Halo
I think
4 was good. Like, multiplayer-wise and
it.
story-wise. Halo 5 is kind of where it got weird.
Oh, yeah, Halo 5 I did not like. But Halo 4...
I like the story, but not the gameplay of Halo 5.
I actually didn't get the entire story of Halo 5.
Wait, what?
I should really get into it. I should really get to it. I just didn't like that Master Chief had a team, right? And the focus was on Spartan Laws.
He always had a team, but the Spartan Lock thing, I totally get.
Well, no, like, I get that he had a team, but it wasn't like...
It wasn't traditional Halo, and I totally get that.
Yeah, like, the team was usually, like...
Which is why the
Master
new one
Chief
is...
and the Arbiter, or Master Chief, is some Marines that die, you know?
Yeah.
That was basically the dynamic. It wasn't like Master Chief and then other Spartans all around him supporting him. And I was like, no, that's not Master Chief. Master Chief would go into a fucking thing alone. What's up?
Do you have any of the Pokemon games for Switch?
No.
You don't? Okay, never mind. I was gonna give you a free shiny, but never mind.
No, I was trying to think of my brother if he had them. No. I don't have a Switch.
I'm not giving them to your brother. only the real homies.
Only the real homies.
Yeah, I basically have one of the rare GameStop codes to get like a level 100 legendary that's shiny, and I already used one of them. I have a spare. So, yeah. I also bought all the fucking Pokemons because if you buy all of them and play fucking Shining Pearl or Brilliant Diamond, you get a free Jirachi and a free Mew. And if you get Diamond or Pearl before a certain time frame, you can also get Manaphy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so. If you have Sword or Shield or Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, you can get... Let's Go gets you... I want to say Let's Go gets you either Mew or Jirachi, and the other one gets you Mew or Jirachi. So it's Mew, Jirachi, and Manaphy. So I'm still shiny hunting a starter. also, once I get a shiny Chimchar, I'll play the game. It's a pain in the ass. I think I'm on a 10th, like 700.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's honestly taking a lot out of me. But no, I totally get the multiplayer stuff. I think what I want to start doing is I want to start looking for like more friends to play games with. But I don't know how to go about that. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to find some mutual homies or some guys to be like, hey, are you interested in playing these competitive games? Because, like, you got Valk, and Valk will play a lot of games with us, but, like, he doesn't have every fucking game. Ryan will play whatever the fuck we play, but he gets upset if we quit too early, so we always got to remember that.
I hope they know what they're doing.
Yeah, like if we just join a game and we just don't play it, like,
Yeah.
I get that. I thought you meant like if we quit early for the night, because I was like,
No. It's if we get into a game and then another game comes out, so we stop playing a specific game. I just knocked that dude out of the turret. But no, I totally get that, but I also know like Ryan's dealing with some shit. Just work and stuff and like figuring out whether or not he's gonna have to move in the future.
yeah, with his girlfriend.
And not even that, like the guy who's got the house might be kicking him out here.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, that's been a thing that's been going on for a while.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That's one of the things that I asked about. Like, why didn't I ever talk about shit like that? That's kind of important for us to know, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
maybe we might have to take it in and shit.
Yeah, well, he doesn't like talking about that shit. I think the only reason he tells me is because I used to live with the guy, so when he wants to vent about the dude, he'll tell the guy who also didn't like the guy.
Another one down.
Fair enough, but no, I'm like, brother, I'm here. Like, I'm right next to you. If you ever need a fucking place, I got you. Bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I think when he talks to me about it in the moment, like, you know, psychology degree, but I also relate, so like it gets completely taken off his chest, and he's just like, no worries. I do think he should probably tell you like, hey, I'm dealing with shit, but I don't think he thinks it's that much at a crisis point. He's just like, you know, confiding.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I'm not like too upset about it. I'm just like, I'm just concerned about it, you know?
Oh yeah, no, totally get it.
'Cause
Totally get it. I feel bad. His dad's gotten a lot worse, dude. While I was over at his house, his dad was bad.
Really?
Like, he has to have a walker now, and when he gets, like, later in night, his Parkinson's starts acting up really
I
bad.
just saw you fucking run over that motherfucker. Sorry.
But yeah, no, his dad has to have a walker to move around his own fucking house.
Oh, damn, dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's gonna get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah,
This is why-
later at night, dude, he gets really bad. He starts, like, full fucking shaking.
This is, why, so, I'm going diverging off a little bit, but psychedelics have been shown, like, to induce, like, neurogenesis. So basically, like,
Yeah, so
repairing
is
the
swimming.
neurons. Swimming, really?
Yeah, it like works with certain muscles in your brain. Basically,
I
like
wonder-
swimming uses it, so that's how a lot of people will get over or like adjust to having like fucking, well, not so much Parkinson's, but like Alzheimer's. It's a big help for. So Parkinson's it also is because it also allows them to use specific muscles. The problem is his dad's so far fucking gone. I don't even think the dude could swim if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that, but the thing is, like, psilocybin has been shown to induce neurogenesis. So I'm like, why don't we have this shit legal? Like, and the thing is, like, it's been shown to kind of like to be effective against Parkinson's. So I'm like, why isn't this shit legal?
Oh god.
It helps people with Parkinson's. It fucking helps people with addiction and depression and all of these fucking issues. I'm like, that should be fucking legal. That should be fucking legal. Like, I don't know.
No, I
That's a
agree
whole
with you.
nother,
But it would also be really hard to convince his dad to take psychedelics.
Yeah, but the thing is, if a doctor said, hey, like, I think if a doctor said, hey, this has been shown to be able to assist you, severely assist you, You know,
Yeah.
I think he would be like more open to it. But it's gonna take a little bit of reprogramming because there's such a fucking fear mongering shit that was done over the drugs. You know, a lot of it was racial, but
Oh yeah. As
the
it
whole
is with
thing about
most,
Nixon was like to fucking illegalize it because it could prevent black people.
Luis,
from
where are
voting.
you at? I need a gunner.
I hope this thing's
Oh.
in good shape.
I'm on my way.
Get in, bitch. Oh god.
Did he pick it?
No, I'm in it. I'm behind you.
Oh,
Somebody-
you're
somebody-
just not in my team. You're just not in my team. That's fucking stupid.
Are we not in the
Okay.
same team?
No, we're in the same team, but you're not in like my like the green.
Oh, that's weird. I thought the green was you too until I just read the fucking player name. Holy shit.
Ground vehicle delivery confirmed.
Ooh, fuck. Behind you, jackass. Get the fuck out of here. Holy shit.
Dude, I've only got one kill.
Wait, what? I've only gotten 3, so I've gotten a lot of assists.
Yeah, I'm 4 assists.
But no, I'm at a point in my life where like I'm just trying to get all my shit that I work so hard to get to like work out to where I can get a job. And I think that's like the worst moment to be because honestly that's more anxiety than taking the classes and taking the finals in my opinion.
Oh yeah. So whenever I was so I graduated college whenever the coronavirus was starting, right? And I went to Kansas City,
What?
living with Sam, no job, and I only had a handful of. I only had like $2,000 from my like built up to be able to kind of like survive, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember how fucking anxiety inducing it was whenever I would be applying and no fucking job, like no one would call.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was soul crushing, man, and especially that first job too. Like even after you get that first job, the first couple of months you're like, okay, yes, like finally I got my foot in the door. But then shit starts going down south, and then like it starts getting bullshitty, and you know, and you just kind of have to keep reminding yourself it's just the experience, just for the experience to kind of keep you going through, you know.
And I'm still at my shit job where like literally the other day like my boss was like my boss has been apparently recommending horse dewormer to people based off of taste and texture. And I was like, that's fucked up. You need to stop doing that. Because the customer's like, I want to return this horse medication. And I'm like, why? You know, because we have to ask what the reason is before we can do it. And she's like, it doesn't taste good. And I was like, excuse me? Like, well, it doesn't taste good. And I go, why?
Ivermectin?
Yeah, they were fucking eating ivermectin. So I
But
was
the thing is, ivermectin's not only just used for the like if there's a human version, there's a horse version.
Yes.
Like, you have to make a distinction on that.
No, we only sell the horse version.
What?
Yes, we only
People were
sell.
taking that.
Yes, Luis.
God damn.
It's because fucking Joe Rogan's dumbass. By the way, I listened to his podcast
No, Joe
the other day.
Rogan took the human version, and he would say multiple
Yeah, but-
times it's
but-
the human version. It's just people won't
But
fucking
I would
listen.
like to state the other day I watched the Joe Rogan podcast while he was with Ben Shapiro, and he admitted he still hasn't gotten the vaccine. Says he doesn't fucking trust it.
Really?
Yep. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to one of the newer ones with Ben Shapiro because I always like watching him to see Joe Rogan lose his fucking mind because he either goes along with what Shapiro says or he like full turns the other way.
that was so cool. Dude,
But
I threw a sticky on your
yeah, I know. I saw it.
team, and it blew up the guy. That was awesome. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was me.
but no,
And here's the thing. Like, I will fucking disagree with that. Like, in terms of like, you should take the fucking vaccine. Right?
yeah.
I'm
See,
I'm all for people taking the vaccine.
Even Shapiro thinks that people should take the vaccine, but he's like, it's their choice, which is kind of what pisses me off. But yeah,
Okay.
it is at the end of the day, it is their choice. But Joe Rogan's fucking anti-vax.
I don't know if Joe Rogan
He's
is
anti-vax to COVID vaccine.
Okay,
There we go.
I don't know necessarily like whether he advocates people not take the vaccine. 'cause
Oh, he does.
What I've seen,
He started a fucking
what I've
ad
seen-
campaign against it.
what I've seen from him is just like let people take it. I like this is the last time. This was months ago. So this was like so I could be out of date.
This is
with what he
before
released it now.
the anti get your COVID shot ad campaign that he fucking filmed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he
No.
filmed like a fucking recreational deal that shows like the backgrounds of cities and shit, like where government's getting taken over by a tyrannical leadership, and they're gonna force you to get your COVID vaccines. He's like, this is
Okay.
an invasion of our fucking civil rights and all this shit. And I'm like, dude,
And this is the thing that frustrates me to no end. Okay, so I'm gonna say what I believe first, and then I'm gonna characterize what Biden's doing, and then I'm gonna characterize something more extreme. Okay,
Go ahead.
so what I believe is, I believe people should have the right to choose whether they can or cannot take the vaccine.
that's
I
fine.
don't think, I do think that people who don't take the vaccine are definitely irresponsible, right? I do think they should take the vaccine. However, I think just people should have the right to choose whatever, right? What Biden is doing is something called a soft mandate, right?
Yeah, but it's for like,
He's not hard mandate where it says you take it, no questions asked, no way out of it.
yeah, and
He's-
it's like for
basically,
aid
he's-
workers and military who already have to do that shit.
No, like he's just saying it's like, hey, take it or test, which that's fairly like logical. That's fairly
Yeah, that's
logical.
fair.
If you do not want to take it, well, you have an out. You can test. If you don't want to take the vaccine, you can go ahead and test. And like people always think like, oh, he's tyrannical. Like no, this shit happens all the fucking time. Like if you look at if you look in the past during the pandemic of the polio vaccine, I think that was required. I think that was an actual mandate.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like people always like spur his like argument of saying like he's just being tyrannical. No, he's giving you an out. So if you do not want to take it, you can test for it. Now, I don't necessarily agree with him, but I see his logic.
What the
I see
fuck?
Why he does. I see why he's.
Thank you. I've hit him with a fucking explodey thing, dude, directly, and then I shot him with a fucking machine gun, and he still didn't die.
Yeah.
Direct hits with the explosives are supposed to be an insta-kill. I'm fucking confused.
It depends on which explosive. Because some grenades.
No, it's not. It's not grenades. It's the fucking like explosive fucking containers.
Oh, okay.
Those are insta kills, or at least they're supposed to be. But no, I agree with what you're saying. It's like, yeah, but also like there are hard mandates in place for like emergency or first aid workers, stuff like that. And now
I agree with that.
And I agree
agree.
with that. I agree with that because you have a position that has already had to meet these fucking
Yes.
quotas. So like, shut the fuck up and stop your bitching.
Yes. So if you're talking about people who, like, let's say, work for immunocompromised and all that shit, hard mandate. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. You're working with somebody that's susceptible of dying from COVID. You're getting the fucking vaccine, or you're losing your job. Like that's my perspective of people that work with, like, people that are immunocompromised, with old people, hell, just anybody in the medical field. You know,
Yeah.
that's my position. Because, like, you're working with people that are susceptible of dying from the disease. Like, but for anybody else, let's just say for just anybody, I think people should have the right to choose whether they want to take it or not.
But I also agree with the side of that where it's like they can't fucking do, like, get, like, fucking certain organ donations and shit like that while they're fucking COVID compromised. And I think that's fair. And if they complain about it, that's a fucking medical system that they help put in place. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I think that's fair. Right. But yeah, it's just like, but I think a lot of people are just so dishonest about how they're covering, like, the vaccine mandates, you know? Like, fine, if you, I'm not saying you have to agree with Biden, right? I'm not saying you have to agree with Biden in his mandates, but at least be intellectually honest about it.
Yeah.
It's not an actual mandate. He's giving you an out. He's letting you have an out. So you have to be intellectually honest and say it's not an actual mandate. It's a software. It's supposed to be put into place to either, like,
What the fuck?
push you to get it, but not force you to get it. You know?
Damn it. Yeah. Is the melee in this game a little wonky, or is it just me?
It is wonky. It is
Okay, because I'm, like, landing direct hits and not getting anything, or hitting at the exact same time. But in every other Halo game, I would either trade or I'd still fucking hit them. In this game, it's like, what the fuck? There we go. I think I just have to keep my momentum up when I melee, because if I, like, hold still, like, the game's like, nope, you didn't punch. I think that's how to fix it.
Enemy team secured a power seat.
Ouchie mama. Ow, what the fuck? There's like 3 people here and not a single teammate. What the fuck? But no, it's all that shit. Like, my boss did that, and then, like, the other day, another worker, like, knocked down all the fucking, like, 250-pound fucking, like, containers of horse feed that are, like, solidified. So there was like 3 rows of them son of bitches stacked, 4 each tall, so 1,000 pound, 1,000 pound, 1,000 pounds, so 3,000 pounds of full stack. And I was like, damn. 3,000 pounds of full stack, and they were all fucking bent over, and I had to move them manually, which was super fucking dangerous. And I was like, well, that's fucking bullshit. So I fixed that, and then another worker does his own fucking thing. Where he stacks a couple of things, and he stacks them 2 different ways, but he still has 20 on each stack. And the boss comes in, and she's like, you need to get your fucking eyes checked. But she says it to me, and I didn't even do it. And I'm like, excuse me? She's like, there's, how many are supposed to be in each of these? And I'm like, 20 and 20. And she's like, well, you need to get your fucking eyes checked. So I count them, like, there's 20 here and 20 here. She's like, no, there fucking isn't. So she goes to count it. Sure as shit, guess what? There's fucking 20 in each. He just stacked them 2 different ways. Wow. I'm like, I don't know why the fuck you're yelling at me. I didn't even do this. So yeah, that has been my work experience for the past couple of days. And then I called in today because I had truck issues, and she got fucking mad at me, and I was like, well, there ain't fucking anything to do. I don't have a ride. Are you gonna come pick my ass up from home? No? Okay, cool. Shut the fuck up.
Power seed stockpile incoming.
Yeah, man. You're gonna have to deal with a lot of
Bullshit?
You're gonna have to deal with a lot of bullshit. Yeah.
I'm aware. It's just, the only time bullshit actually affects me if I'm dealing with, like, multiple things at once. It makes it a little bit hard to
Ready
tolerate.
to secure.
Yeah, like if you're dealing with your friends, if you're dealing with your fucking job, you're dealing with all this shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only reason it even slightly affected me to the point where I'm like, man, I just don't feel like playing games. But, like, when you got on, I was like, bro, play Halo with me, and you're like, yeah, and I'm like, sweet. And, like, already a million times better. It's like, it's literally, that's as easy as it is. It's just, nobody was getting on. If people were getting on, nobody wanted to play the same thing, and then I was like, well, fuck. So I would play single-player games and stream, and...
Well, dude, I'm
And-
glad I'm able to fucking help, man. 'cause
Oh yeah, no, it's just
Honestly,
generally just fucking being here, so that way I have someone to fucking play with is nice. Because
well, man,
I'm just at a point now where like I'm fully aware that I have a somewhat smaller friend group, and I made peace with that. But like when I'm dealing with a bunch of
it's
shit
so-
and
it's
it's
so-
overwhelming,
it's so
and then
bad.
like none of my homies are on, it's like, oh god, I'm just so
Is at half power.
Power seed secured.
just so overwhelmed pretty much, and that's how it's been. So I think Friday I'm gonna go in and be like, hey, did I get the job? And if they tell me no, I'm like, well then put me on your full-time sub list so I can just start subbing and fucking leave the job I'm currently in until I get a teaching position. Because I just can't work at Tractor Supply anymore.
yeah.
You need to grab the power seeds to win, you Jersey Shore candidates. I'm fully aware. I'm grabbing cores as we speak. That's some new vocabulary I'm not entirely used to.
Has reached half power.
So, that's interesting.
No, man, it's yeah, it can get kind of like lonely, man, because
That's honestly what
Especially
it
whenever-
is, and like I've had shit experience romantically recently,
Needs one more
and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of also kind of got me. What the fuck?
You
no,
attain to
I
score.
understand that.
Power seeds.
I
It's
just-
like I
thing
had,
is,
I had a like actual decent like couple months relationship that was going good, and then I didn't know it that she was already pregnant going into the relationship, and she didn't know it either. So like that's fun.
Was that with that black girl?
Yeah, but honestly, I think I was saved because like when I tried to talk to her again just to check on how she was doing, she like went full like hardcore feminist, and I was like, you know what, blessing in disguise.
Seeing it's discussed, yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
like
It's like what?
I was like, sorry, I just got my phone again. Like, you, whenever you're going into talking to a girl, right? And they always will show you
Loaded a power seed.
a different side. I've never seen a truly authentic girl. Like, that's life. That's life. That kind of sounds fucked up. But like, I never like that is a lie because one, my friend, he's dating a girl that she just sounds really fucking
Your team
authentic.
has reached half power.
Like, doesn't sound like she has another motive. Doesn't sound, she's just like really nice, just for the sake of being nice. And just she's like caring just for the sake of being caring. And then and whatever, like somebody who wears their heart on their sleeve, you know, that kind of like doesn't like you don't sense that there's something else that they're after. Like it's very rare. It's very rare that
Oh wow, he just
Like,
left in the middle of the fucking thing. That was probably the dude who was pissed off. They called us Jersey Shore candidates.
I don't know if you would agree with that. Would you agree with that? That it's like there's very little girls that are authentic.
No, it's the problem, and literally like
Well, not girls, but just people in general.
yeah, and
I'm-
literally there's been like an advocacy group for like promoting like legalizing prostitution in the U.S. and all these people are coming out against it, and I'm kind of the mindset of a certain individual I've been listening to. He goes, why shouldn't prostitution be allowed? And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, to get a woman to sleep with you or to be accompanied with you, you already have to like, you know, pay her money and stuff and take her out
Yeah.
on dates and do stuff. It's like,
Why
but
not?
why not do this? And then at the end of the day, guess what? There's no fucking emotional turmoil if it turns out fucking bad.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm an
I'm-
advocate
I'm
for
all-
that. Because
I'm all for prostitution. I don't. That's the thing. I don't morally agree with it, though. I don't morally agree with it.
I
But I think people should have the right to do it. I think if people want to get engaged with it, That's their choice. They can do it. I don't care.
If I'm going to be entirely honest, I think prostitution should be legalized, but I also think that if prostitution was legalized, it would help me out a lot, because I have a lot of problems with hormones because of all my fucked up shit, so, like, I have an overactive sex drive, so, like, I'm just like, dude, I just fucking need something.
It's like, I don't, like I said, it's like, I think people should have the right to do it, and I don't think the government should have the say to tell somebody what they can and can't do with their fucking body. They can do what the fuck they want to do, right?
I kind of have a mindset where it's like, if I can get laid like once every 3 months, it keeps me that much more sane. But if I can't, or if I'm having issues, or I go for a long dry spell for about a year, bro, I want to fuck literally everything that moves, and that is a danger to myself as well as others. Do I think I'm going to do anything? No. But it creates a possibility to where that's at least in the back of my head, and if I was a weaker man...
Yeah, and you see, that's kind of like where, like, I feel kind of the same thing, like, but, this is why it's like, I want to get back to the point where I was, man, because whenever I was meditating every day, whenever I was actually, like, going out for walks, for, like, 2-hour-long walks, 2 hours long walks every day,
The attacking or defending?
and I was meditating for an hour and a half every night. So that's like 3.5 hours of just like thinking, you know? I was so much fucking better. Like, I could control not only just my urges, but I could control like everything. And I felt like I was like more in control of my life than I ever was. I felt like I was a lot better at handling a lot of my emotions and where it came from. But like, I want to get to that point, but
What the fuck?
walking, and then the place I used to walk here, it got co-opted by high schoolers. And I was like, fuck that, fuck you guys. I go walk there and I see a bunch of fucking high schoolers, like, fuck off.
Well, see, because I had my hernia and I've got a problem with fucking dopamine production in my fucking head. Basically, like I have a fucked up thyroid, so I've got an imbalance, and then I've got all my fucking physical damage from the fucking like weird ass hernia I got that I was born with. That like fucked me up for like 20 years before it got fixed. I've got a lot of damage and a lot of hormonal imbalances. One of those is that like I have an abnormally large amount of lust, which for the most part I keep in check. But like when I get depressed, my brain's like, when I get depressed, my brain's like, where's the serotonin, you bitch? And then it's like, you need to fuck something, because that's the way my brain handles it. So like, I don't have a problem controlling like my urges when I'm like happy, but like when I'm fucked up or depressed, I get to the point where like I've literally like talked to my doctor about taking medication that will like stunt my sex drive for a while. Like it's that bad.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get that.
Ground vehicle requisition.
I would say this, like, whenever I'm, like, I get excited, like, whenever I'm talking to somebody or whatever, my sex drive is fucking high.
I don't know
like
if I've ever
8 times in one day.
Oh yeah, no.
Not good.
Same. Totally in the exact same boat. Like honestly, sometimes that's rookie number shit. Like you might want to get your numbers up.
See, okay, if you're talking to me in high school, oh, those 8 times a day was a daily. That was a daily. The fucking more excited I was like 12. You know, 12 or 13. Because like I would be like fucking like a rabbit, you know. Not actually cool, but you know, I'll be like,
Yeah, no. I totally get that. I just get, dude. I literally, I don't know if I told you about this, but I had a literal phase at Hayes where I would pick up MILFs from a gas station that I worked at. When I worked at Love's, I would literally like target specifically lonely MILFs.
dude, goddamn.
Here's the thing. Did I ever tell you that I had sex with a retired Navy SEAL officer?
No.
Yeah, it was fun. Bro, that bitch was built thicker than a Snicker. Like, this bitch was like super like muscly and tan, and she was hot as shit. And I was like, nice.
Yeah, like I have a MILF that, like, well, not really a MILF, like,
An
she's the
ally
mom,
has taken
and
enemy
she
flag.
looks alright.
Bag of tape.
Like, she doesn't look bad,
Flag
but
returns
she's
to
not the
base.
best looking girl, right? That I can just, like, at any point, if I wanted to, I could just go message her, hey, what are you doing tonight? And just go.
I had
So
that for a
that's
while,
tempted.
but I think I've kind of like burned the bridge to that one.
So, sometimes I'm tempted to, and the thing is, like, I'm talking to this girl, like, right now, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin things with her. Like, it's the first time I don't want to, like, the other girls, I would be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't give a shit. You know?
God, sledgehammers.
But
Grab hammers.
I don't. Oh no, you're fine.
But no,
But that-
I get it. I just have like these horrible bouts of moments where like the thing that can bring me out of depression is literally just fucking physical attention.
Yeah, like intimacy, kind of.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, and,
No,
and
no,
it
I
sucks
get
because
that.
like I'm constantly trying to date. I'm going through all this shit, and like I'm at a point now where like I'm working with this woman who's like going through like marriage troubles, and she's literally actively getting a divorce and trying to get away from an abusive situation, and I'm trying to help her, but at the same time I'm like, bro, I would sleep with this woman in a heartbeat, and I know I would.
Flag.
Yeah.
Enemy flag carrier spotted.
God damn it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
no, so-
I get that, man.
I was debating
just
getting
suck that-
Battlefield
that-
2042.
Wait, what?
I was debating getting Battlefield 2042.
Dude, don't do it. Fuck.
I know,
Like,
I'm not doing it. I've
Don't
seen the
do
shit.
it.
I'm not doing it.
Don't do
I want to play this game with the homies. I'm just gonna convince the rest of the homies to play
Ally
this
has
fucking
taken
game.
the enemy flag.
You, Luis, when the campaign drops on the 7th, you and me.
Yeah, got you.
Good. We're playing it on Legendary. We will suffer.
Alright. We will suffer.
I hate how there's no
Okay.
executions in this one.
Yeah, that was added in Halo Reach, wasn't it? Or
Yes.
Halo 4.
Reach.
Reach, okay. Yeah, Reach added a bunch of fucking armor abilities. I wish
Well,
they still had that.
Reach was technically the last game that they made, so they wanted to go all out.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I wish they still had the armor abilities. That was fucking awesome.
An ally returned our flag.
I mean, I guess you could say they still have the armor abilities with the things that you can pick up on the map. Which is fine. Like, I actually kind of like that because you can kind of like pick, like, different
There's
things.
the
you know?
fucking... God damn it. I had two teammates there. None of them were shooting these fucks. I had a grab hammer. I was going to go in and kill him. I was like, at least like distracted for 2 seconds. Teammates were like, fuck that. Did I just get disconnected? Luis, are you still there?
I mean, I'm still here, yeah.
I got
Still
bunted
playing.
from the fucking lobby.
Dude, I don't even see you on the team. I don't even see that you left.
I got kicked from the lobby.
Man,
What the
fuck are
fuck?
those barnacles?
A lot of bullshit. Yeah, no, I agree. But no, I've just been at a point mentally where I'm just like, dude, I'm so exhausted.
Oh no, I fucking feel that. Hold on.
I'm gonna put my headset on the charger. Just invite me back whenever you get back.